but he was on pace to have a monster season before injuring his ankle. Here was Dak yesterday when asked if he'd like to replace or replicate that same pace from last year.
I don't want to throw for 6,000 yards, to be honest with you. That means we're not running the ball. That means we're not probably doing the things that we need to do to be a balanced winning team. Sure, it'd be great to have those numbers and to break that, or to have that record or whatever it is, but that's not something that I put into my head. As I say, I want to be the best offense in the NFL, and I think the best way we can do that is if I'm not throwing that many yards. And our run game is working. We're playing complementary football, and we're winning a lot of games. And I think if that's the case, then hopefully I'm not playing as many fourth quarters trying to come back and do the 2-minute drills we're doing in those first 5 games. They got me a lot of those numbers.
So, LeVar, Dak saying he doesn't want to throw for 6,000 yards is blank.
Sensible, Joy. Very sensible. If you think about it, Drew Brees, who has thrown for more yards than God, averaged 280 yards a game over his career. 280 yards, if that puts it in context to you. You know what he would have to be averaging per game to be able to get to 6,000 yards? 353, and I rounded that up from 52, 9.9. So I just think it's sensible, Broussard, to think about being balanced, more balanced, because you would have to be basically averaging more than Pat Mahomes per game if you're getting 6,000 yards.
Yeah, I think it's smart. I think it's smart. I don't think that you have a balanced offense if you're throwing for 6,000 yards. You have Zeke, eat on that side of the ball. You definitely want to utilize him. And you're also playing from behind if you're throwing that much. That is not a balanced offense, so it's very smart. Also, the last time a quarterback led the league in passing yards and won a Super Bowl were both pre-Super Bowl era. That much, and well, not 6,000 yards, but led the league in passing yards and won a Super Bowl. It's not a formula for success. This is very smart from Dak. It's not how you want to win games.
It's perceptive, and you heard Dak kind of refer to it toward the end of his quote, but he knows that 370 yards he averaged a game last year, it was fugazi. And he knows that they were down big in the 3 games he threw for all those yards: 472, 502, 450. They were way behind, and he had to go in the hurry up. The opponents were in the prevent defense, and they rallied in the lost 2 of those 3 games. He didn't put up those yards against the Rams. He didn't put up those yards against the Giants, who actually had a pretty good defense. So he knows that he's not going, he doesn't need to throw for that many yards. They don't have to go back to his second and third years in the league, or first, second, and third, when it was Ezekiel as the driving force. But they do need more balance, because he's a better passer than he used to be, but he's still not Pat Mahomes. So they definitely need more balance. This is very perceptive of Dak Prescott.
Let's talk Patriots. They assigned numbers to the rookie class, and one in particular made waves. They gave out Gronk's number 87 to rookie wide receiver Trey Nixon, despite Gronk being the franchise leader in touchdowns. So, LeVar, the Pats giving 87 to a 7th-round rookie is blank.
Well, they must be your boo. You being the queen of petty, they are the kings of petty. This is petty. Like, what else is there to it? Gronk is one of the greatest tight ends of all time in the history of the game, and he did it in that Patriots uniform. That's almost as petty as, well, them slipping into letting somebody wear number 12. I don't know. Just seems petty to me.
I don't know. I think this is normal. Plus, Gronk is still playing. So if Gronk was really retired and it was, starting to become a romantic thing, sure. But Gronk has moved on. He just won a Super Bowl with another team, with the guy that used to be the quarterback here. So maybe it's a little petty, but it didn't read that way to me. This is normal. He's still playing. You've got to move on. They're not going to retire his jersey. I don't necessarily hold the same romanticism towards numbers in football the way that I do in basketball. Maybe that's just me, but I think of the player. I don't think of the number. Now, obviously, we know what the best players' numbers are, but they just don't hold as much weight to me, and he's still playing. If he had been retired and there was some bad blood, maybe, but this just feels normal to me.
I think it's hilarious. Hilarious leaning toward petty. There's a little pettiness there for sure.
Oh, it's
but
petty.
just look, I'm sure that there will be a day when no one else wears number 87 for the Patriots. All right, that day will come in the future. But considering how gregarious, how jovial, how rebellious Gronk was in New England and just is in general, I think it's just funny that they gave his number to a 7th-round pick. And I'm sure some people in that organization are getting a nice chuckle out of it. Heck, Gronk may be getting a nice chuckle out of it. But I do think Gronk will end up getting the last laugh this year and not the Patriots. But yeah, to me, this is just funny.
Super petty, guys. Y'all call it what y'all want. And enjoy. If they gave out 12 because 12 is still playing, that's beyond petty.
No,
if there was a word for beyond petty, that would be the word for it.
I think that would be
can't do
illogical. That's not even smart. That's pressure. I wouldn't do that. We're back talking some baseball because the Field of Dreams game was quite the spectacle. It was amazing last night. We'll share our favorite moments from the game next. This is First Things First.